President Donald Trump continues to say one solution to school violence is arming teachers.
So this crazy man who walked in wouldn't even know who it is that has it. That's good. It's not bad, that's good. And a teacher would have shot the hell out of him before he knew what happened.
Minnesota is actually one of the few states in the country that does allow teachers to carry weapons if they have permission from a school principal or top administrator. Esme Murphy reports that this little-known state law is drawing criticism and concern.
Dig deep into state statutes and you'll find 609.66, subdivision 1D, item 8, which says dangerous weapons can be carried in school with the written permission of the principal or other person having general control and supervision of the school. Retired Professor Joe Olson, a former NRA board member, wrote the provision as part of Minnesota's 2003 Permit to Carry law.
Basically what it says is that you can have dangerous weapons, firearms, knives, BB guns, replica firearms in a school if you have the permission of the principal.
Olson says he personally knows of at least 2 Minnesota teachers who have the written permission and are currently carrying guns in schools, but he would not give us their names.
Could there be a lot more?
There could be more, yes.
Do you have any idea how many more?
No.
We thought the Minnesota Department of Education would be able to tell us how many teachers and staff have gotten that written permission and the names of the schools where teachers and staff are currently carrying firearms legally under Minnesota state law. But that is not the case.
In a statement, the Minnesota Department of Education said, "We do not know how many individuals are carrying weapons legally in Minnesota under this law. The statute does not require a district to report this information to the state or other authority." We spoke with the president of Education Minnesota, the 80,000-member state teachers union.
If you hadn't started asking questions about it, I don't know if any of us would have realized this. There is no requirement for training or reporting or disclosing this to parents, students, and staff. This seems wrong.
Did you know about this provision?
No.
House DFL Minority Leader Melissa Hortman, a strong advocate for tougher gun laws, says in the long term, this part of state law needs a fix.
I don't think that it's a provision of law that protects kids in schools. If it did, we wouldn't have had the shootings that we've had in Minnesota.
Esme Murphy, WCCO 4 News.
Minnesota has had 2 deadly school shootings in September 2003 at Rocori High School, where 2 were killed, and in 2005 in Red Lake, where 10 people were killed and 7 were wounded.
Conversations about safety are also happening in our schools themselves. Many students from Minnesota joined hundreds of thousands around the country walking out of school yesterday. They did it as a tribute to the 17 lives lost in Parkland, Florida. Students in Sandy Hook, Connecticut honored the 20 children and 6 adults murdered in 2012. In our nation's capital, thousands of students sat in silence for 17 minutes in front of the White House.
Martin, we remember you. Bucky, we remember you.
We remember you.
At Armstrong High School in Plymouth, students honored every victim with eulogies and poetry. They say this was about coming together and remembering the lives lost, but ultimately coming up with a solution to make schools more safe.
I was just heartbroken that something like this could ever happen anywhere in the world. This should never happen. We're living in a country where kids get shot for trying to learn, and that's just not right on any level.
The gunman who opened fire on students and teachers inside the school is pleading not guilty. That after prosecutors announced that they would seek the death penalty. Nicholas Cruz faced a judge yesterday, and that judge in Florida entered a not guilty plea on Cruz's behalf. His attorney said he will plead guilty to all charges if the death penalty is taken off the table, but the state attorney filed formal notice that prosecutors will indeed seek capital punishment.
Governor Mark Dayton wants lawmakers to stay the course in his final year in office.
If we and our successors preserve our state's fiscal integrity and invest our present tax system's resources in even better education, infrastructure, and transportation, we will continue to offer better jobs with higher incomes and other benefits to our residents. If we don't, We won't.
The governor delivered his 8th and final State of the State address last night. The speech was short on specific proposals for the Republican-controlled legislature to consider this year. Dayton recapped the $6 billion budget shortfall he inherited in 2011 and called on lawmakers to protect years of budget surpluses. He also emphasized the importance of recent increases in public school funding and new programs such as all-day kindergarten and expanded preschool offerings. Here's what Republicans said.
The bottom line is the state of the state is we're in really good shape. Our tax cuts have worked. The economy is doing really well. We have record unemployment, more jobs than workers, and we're doing really well. And we like to think that we led the tax portion of that, but largely we worked together to get a lot of things accomplished for the state of Minnesota.
The speech comes a year after Dayton collapsed while delivering the annual address. Last night, Dayton joked of ending early, quote, to make certain I can walk out by myself. But it looks like he did a pretty decent job last night in terms of that.